Last week, let me turn back my pages. Suki and Sam met you guys for some meeting and beers, where you guys were given a fun little magical contraption, a sending ability of sorts, communication through your chosen mugs, whatever container you chose. So, I look forward to seeing that in combat. One of you pulling out a giant flask and speaking into it. But talk to you about Kobok in general and how if you guys lose, you get expelled. The high stakes of the high stakes of the game and the intense nature of the school. Mallory said that her class was never told anything about that, and she doubts it would. But with insight, it might be just because you're at the bottom of the totem pole. You're the 8th team. Sorry, top of the totem pole. Fun fact: the bottom of the totem pole is the most important part. The Adventuring Guild finally reached out to you guys and talked to you about a strange mortuary, and specifically the mortician that's working there, and how they are using the undead of, certain illegal summonings of undead to basically abuse them, to ask them questions of their past lives, to trade secrets, or just to torture and hold hostage for the living to meet their demands, that sort of thing.
I know we needed to talk to Anua at some point about the actual ramifications of losing.
Yep.
We also need to change it. We also need to change our team name. That's on the agenda.
Especially because the official name is still Sukan Sam. It's cuttlefish.
Flying. What the fuck was it? Flying cuttlefish?
Yeah,
Yes.
flying cuttlefish.
Brilliant.
And then the Sukan Sam spite.
I believe that's a
Which I'm
different
pretty sure that's led by the other chef.
team.
Oh,
Just saying,
okay.
pretty sure the other chef leads it.
Let me fiddle with it.
Sure thing. Yeah, you will. Yeah, you'll probably do that when you go back to school. As for now, you guys are.
We were
scouting.
still at the school.
Is that better?
I believe so. Oh, you're still at the school. I thought you guys went to do the.
The last thing we did was Warden got our boat.
Like we were looking at a projected map.
The last thing we did was Warden got our boat.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was where we left off. Was after the headmaster. We all went to our dorms. Because I think it was getting late then.
That's right. You got your super awesome, amazing bow that is just interesting for now. That would be Sunday, so it would be another week until you guys have free reign to actually do the scouting. So during that week, let's just do the new one. So let's go to chef map.
No, that's perfect actually. Because Anua is a headmaster. We don't need not a headmaster, a teacher. We don't need to go hunt his ass down.
No. During class, he is, again, this time training you guys in dodging heavy blows. So he has one of the biggest men in class with a stick with a giant pillow on the other end, with some flour on it. And he's just wailing at you guys. If you've ever been in one of those really intense pillow fights, this is a heavy pillow with the 8-foot pole giving the force behind it. So it's not light. You know when you get hit, and a couple of you have gotten sprawled with painted white, and you're probably going to look like ghosts by the end of this, but you can approach him whenever you wish.
An emotion for Warden. We need to talk to Anua, don't we? Right?
Yeah, that would be the time.
Come on. Probably should grab the others. Are the others with us? Like, are we all in class together?
Yeah, you're in class together.
Okay. Hope is gonna kind of with Warden just walk over to Anua.
If I was just
Kinda-
to follow whether they want him to or not.
Yeah. Hope was kind of waiting for that.
Wolfgar will join.
Imagine Raybar won't be short behind.
He is there directing things. Errol, move your head, and you get. Whoop. Ow. Yes. Well, what do I have the pleasure of talking to you with today?
Hope kind of nudges Warden.
We had a few questions about Cobalt in general, just how the school rules it, and we wanted to change our name on our sheet because we have Soup Can Sam.
Yes, I expected as much.
Cause that's all that needs to be said. Cause we have Soup Can Sam.
And he whips out a.
Do I need to
clipboard.
say more?
No, it's just funny that that's all that needs to be said.
It was more, he doubted you guys were going to be called the Flying Cuttlefish. Though there have been stranger names. And with a clipboard out, so what name should I put in?
Nintra's Spite.
Introspect. You've caught my curiosity with that one. Who is Nintra?
An old friend of mine, who has done me a bad turn, and they all agreed that it's probably for the best if I take out my anger on her this way.
Very well.
Honestly, I just thought it was funny.
And do you have any, what was your questions about Cobalt? I hope they were clear in the manual I sent you all.
It's less about Kobulk itself and more, what happens when we lose?
Sam mentioned that we were going to get expelled.
And he thinks for a moment. No, I've heard of coaches making sure that their teams have really given it their all. And once or twice I have upheld that lie, but with Supkin Sam, no, he will not be expelled if you fail.
We're not referring to him.
No, but he is not the type of teacher that would uphold that lie in a good way. He mostly just wants to mess with you.
Hope's entire form just kind of exhales. It's almost like he's been holding in a breath for 3 days.
Yes.
Not that I'm particularly worried about it, but we were worried about our classmates. There are some of them that have done us a good turn, and some of them that we might be more than happy to see go. But if that's the case, and he's just trying to inspire us to do our best, then I see no harm in at least pretending like we actually don't know the truth.
Val just interrupts with 3 words. He's an asshole.
I mean,
He's
you're right.
He seems rather proud of himself for saying that.
Speaking-
Warden will put her hand on her wineskin.
I did wish to speak with you all about one thing. I have received paperwork that Mallory wishes to change teams onto your side.
Beat me to it. That's correct.
Yes, I will need approval from all of your teammates, along with your teachers.
I would give a nods and heads up, or like a thumbs up, like, yeah, that's my approval.
Hi, Mallory has my approval as well.
And he gives out a document for you guys to all to sign. Get that signed and turned in, and once I have Professor Yaro's approval, she can join up with you for your practices.
Good to know. Thank you.
So, what if I'm cursed and I can't write my name on things?
That's right.
Well, I think I heard about something like that happening with you, but as long as there's no signature saying you don't approve, then it should be fine.
Legally existing in a moral gray area. Okay, sounds good.
This is good. This is going to get more and more
Annoying?
problematic
Okay.
as time goes on, doesn't it?
Of course.
We need to handle this sooner rather than later.
Good luck.
Well, I'm helping when we can.
Forgive me for prying, but I'm assuming this.
Yep, you're right.
Nectar was the one who did this.
Yep, it's a fae. I was cursed by a fae.
Well, I wish you luck in returning it, and if you are able to amass enough gold, you can always hire some team to go retrieve it for you. I can put in a good word.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now,
Wha-
you might want to look behind you, as I don't think he is caring of your inattentive nature. And you hear the whistling of a pillow coming at you.
Dex save?
Yes.
BTT, no, what? It
All of us?
says 26,
Just-
I rolled a 19. It's weird, but
Yeah.
it didn't. I will screenshot it so you see.
You're good. Thump. You suddenly are tasting fresh bread of the flour.
A 26?
Oh, I just saw the 8 for.
Oh, that's Eli.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it didn't.
he got
I'm gonna try refreshing to see if that'll fix it, but yeah, it's not recognizing Roll20 right now. So I'll drop my rolls into in a general.
Sure thing. But yeah, you were good. Back swing hits. Oh, there he goes.
Just drop down to my knee as I hear it. Just whoop.
Well, is there anything else you wish to talk about?
I'm good.
Nothing I can think of comes to mind.
Thank you.
Well, then get back in it. Anything else you guys wish to do in the week setting up for this to prepare for it?
There is typically very little time on weekdays, correct?
Yes. So it's like Friday night and Saturday will be the actual times where you actually get to do stuff.
In
So-
that case, Val is going to actually just make sure he has everything needed. He's going to test his grapples, see about double checking everything, a little bit of practice on a dummy lock with the thieves' tools, stuff like that to ensure that he's actually ready to go accordingly. And beyond that, testing his shield a little bit, just to make sure that he's used to it.
In terms of Hope, Hope is either going to try and find. We're on the. Remind me, DM.
Yes.
Krella, the city. Is it a coastal city?
Yes, Kriel is it was a man-made coastal city. There is a bay that has been carved out due to magic, and yes.
Likelihood of finding clams/pearls here.
Very little unless you actually want to make a journey out to sea, because the way you make a bay with magic is a whole bunch of damaging area effect spells.
Makes sense. One can consider a shovel damaging to dirt. Yeah, that makes sense. That was,
ninth level molder.
yeah, something like that. Okay.
More disintegrate. It was a pretty spectacular thing back in the day.
In terms of purchasing a pearl,
That's easy enough. You are on a coastal city, so pearls are bought and sold here at a regular. Some people even use it as their currency, some outlying fishing villages.
okay. I'm gonna turn to Warden. Some point during the week, when we have, between classes or what have you. Warden, question.
Answer.
He gives you a look. I need a pearl for one of the spells I found at the library, but I can purchase it, but I will be short on gold if I do.
Have you tried going diving for it?
Something tells me clams aren't likely to be found on the coast. I'd need to go further out.
How much do you need?
A pearl's worth 100. Let's see. I only need it once, thankfully. How much do you have? I don't want to ask for a lot.
I will roll in Tailspire from here on then. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.
Are you counting individual gold pieces in front of me?
Individual copper pieces. Uh, 73?
You have 73 copper pieces?
I mean, it's 7,300, but...
Oh, okay. That translates to what, like 73 gold? Or is that 730 gold?
Yes.
I don't know, about 25 gold? I should probably be able to handle the rest. I should only need it the one time. And next time you find something magical, I should be able to figure out what it is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You don't keep your pouches sorted.
I'm counting pouches.
Hope has this, like, strangely dumbfounded look.
I hand him 25 gold worth of copper.
You effectively gave me 2,500 fucking pennies. Okay.
Exactly.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
Just for future reference, once you get in higher levels and actually gain real rewards, I'm not a stickler on carrying capacity, but there is a limit.
I have a piggy bank, it's fine.
No, that's fair. I know my general rule of thumb is like, it's more backpack space than carrying capacity.
I'm also just joking here.
I know.
I'm doing this to make Hope's life more difficult.
Yeah, he knows, and that's why he's just giving you this look like, oh my god, sometime in the century. Oh, Warden, before I go, if we do get your name back, would you rather us call you Warden or your name?
That's up to you guys, I suppose.
Well, I guess we'll get there when we get there, don't we?
I haven't used that name in quite a while, so it's gonna take me some getting used to anyway.
All right. And I'll break away. And then Saturday night Friday night or Saturday morning, I will purchase a pearl from any shop for 100 GP.
Thank you for coming. From the many Juans. This one a fisherman.
You know, Hope, I'm so glad that you took all those copper pieces away, because now my pockets are feeling so much lighter. See, I even have this bag of gold.
Hope gives you this look. That would curdle milk. Warden, why do you make my life so difficult?
Because it's
but-
fun.
Between you, Raybar, and Foul, I swear we must have all been siblings in a past life.
You know, I wasn't thinking about it before, but that actually makes a great point.
Given how my siblings act, I wouldn't be surprised. Either way, thank you. Now we need to gather Ulfgar and Reese and Raybar and Ulfgar has a spell to cast, correct?
But before that, I have two questions. Scott, one question is, what are the rules on like enchantment magic being cast on people outside?
What are you talking about?
Like, anything that changes people's moods or anything of that sort, because it's not, I guess, technically aggressive, but it is, an assault on their minds.
Anything done without their approval is like against the code, the moral code in here. So it's just not polite, even if it is in good nature.
Yeah, like if I saw a fight breaking out and then I cast Calm Emotions, would that essentially be a crime?
It'd be frowned upon.
Okay.
I guess that's really dependent on context, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if they're about to kill each other and you cast Calm Emotions, I mean, they're not going to be happy with you about it afterward, but
Yeah, that's more safe area, but...
it's like almost a form of self-defense at that point.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
like Charm Person that I used on Soup Can Sam.
Yeah, that would typically be frowned upon, I'd imagine. You're fucking with somebody's head.
It's also Soup Can Sam's head. Blah.
Yeah.
So I don't think that there's anything in there to fuck with, just an unknowable enigma.
Something tells me he's just keeping an Eldritch deity in his brain.
We'll see.
Possibly. Find a boss.
so it
You know-
can
We'll
be
see.
so potential gray area depending on context, essentially.
Mhm.
But
Which makes a lot of sense.
yeah. The second thing is that looking up the rules for making holy water. So I believe I need to purchase powdered silver. Would that also be at Maggie's or Wands?
Like materials themselves, gold, ingots, and everything, that's Juan's.
Okay. Yeah. Oof, each holy water prep is 25 gold pieces. That's a lot. Right.
Fuck. And since you know what we're going up against, yeah, that makes sense to prepare.
Yeah. All right. I'll go ahead and buy powdered silver to prepare 2 flasks of holy water.
Sure thing.
Whenever.
Yeah, whenever you have time.
Yeah.
Any specific plans for the holy water itself? And how much are you willing to spend?
Yeah, so that's 50 gold pieces that I'm spending at the moment.
Okay.
There are 2 potential uses. One is like you can just use it as an offensive thing, but that seems too expensive for us. But it can be used to cure certain things, and then protection from evil and good is an option as well.
Oh, that's not bad.
Okay.
It can be a protection from evil and good spell?
Yeah, it's a component.
Okay, yeah, like
Oh.
there are levels of holy water. There's, blessed by just some priest or cleric, and then there's like the bishop or something. So that's where gold gets spent, and that's where you can like actually dip weapons like arrowheads into holy water, depending on the
Gotcha.
power. But for just regular old holy water, that's you can get it for free.
Oh, I can get the holy water for free, or
Yeah, for since it's a component that doesn't cost anything.
so yeah. I was confused by that too because it says in which the spell consumes, and I was looking it up, and players can make holy water for 25 gold pieces of silver.
Yes, holy water designed for kind of using like it was a poison for arrows for actual curing things or use against
Gotcha.
undead. That's different. But this is like a low leveled stuff
Yeah.
that you would have in the entrance of a church that they would just dip your fingers in, that kind of sort of thing.
Now, would this still help us with the undead? Because I think that's the point.
Yeah.
This
I
is
guess
what the
with
spell
the
does.
spell, the spell still works off the entry level, which would be
Oh, that's what you're
free,
saying.
yeah, the
Okay.
free stuff, the undead might not like it. Like if they could get a
Mhm.
rash, it would be a small rash. But if you get the expensive, high-end holy
That's when we
water,
can use it on like weaponry and that kind of thing.
you can actually like splash it like it was acid.
Mhm.
For
Okay,
undead.
but for all intents and purposes, any holy water is holy water for the purposes of protection from evil and good.
Yep.
Okay.
As long as it doesn't have a cost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my usual go-to is if it doesn't have a gold cost, I don't care.
And like spells, it's like a pinch of powdered silver and iron for a spell.
Mhm.
So cost doesn't really matter.
Well, in that case, I'll still, I guess, go for 2 25 gold pieces of holy water, and we can have that as a backup option.
Okay,
If-
so
Just-
essentially for holy water, the way I've done it before is the acid vial that you would get. Yes, I believe it is 2d6.
Yeah. I will.
But I
hand
imagine
them
it's
one.
It's the stats of acid except radiant damage for anything that is, um, you know, damageable by
Coated in.
radiant.
And if we were to coat our weapons in it, this is less important for me, but people like, Rapar and Warden.
For that, for like a 25 gold thing, it would be more like turning the damage into radiant, less of adding anything to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is still good for undead.
That's still
Most-
good, and it's good. It's half decent for getting around resistances as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense, actually. I like that.
And it can potentially work against certain diseases as well. I will prepare lesser restoration, but this is a decent backup.
Yep.
I will hand one over to Hope, and I'll keep one in just in case of emergencies.
Hope kind of looks at it. What's this?
This is water that has been blessed by a cleric more powerful than I.
Does
I
my
looked-
infernal heritage react in any sort of way to this?
Not in front
Out
of
of
no,
curiosity?
not really.
Okay.
Unless you're like a full-on evil devil.
True. I am only a tiefling, and I am a chaotic good tiefling at that.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
well,
for
that should.
future reference, the higher end level stuff, like 50 gold and more, works closer to like the alchemical fire, except instead of a 1d4, it's a 2d4 each turn.
Okay. And if a creature's weak to radiant, that's even better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and even
makes sense.
more if you want to cast, put more money into it. But yep,
So it's a scaling at 25 gold per like effectively level.
yeah. And since you're in a capital, like, it's available. But if you're going out in the middle of nowhere, you probably couldn't find a priest of that high enough level.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
That should be useful then. Given what we're going to do.
I am not certain how we would want to use it. It is not a trivial investment to purchase this, but it might save our lives.
Hey, any advantage we can get is an advantage. And I'm sure it would be nice to have it as a backup. Thankfully, you're not the only one who can heal.
I would be most fortunate that we have you as well, in case one of us goes down.
I'm just glad I can do it at a distance. It seems to be less potent though, but still. Enough to get somebody back on their feet. Sorry, Wolf guy. I'm a little nervous.
But hopefully some knowledge of what we face might help us in that regard.
Let's hope.
Are you ready, lad? Is everyone gathered for examining?
Gonna kind of look around. Are we in the dorm room?
I would assume so.
Look around for Foul, Raybar, and Warden. Wow, I had a momentary lapse of reason there.
It's in character. It's fine.
Are you all ready?
What time is it?
Whichever time you want.
Because if it's early enough, Val would be there. If it's getting a bit too close, he already would have left for the arena.
Well, this isn't Sunday. No wait. It is Saturday, isn't it?
Yes, it's Saturday, and then Sunday's the Cobalt with the Guardsmen.
Okay, so if it's Saturday and it's late out, he is probably still practicing. If it's earlier in the day, he's still there.
With all of the stuff that you've done, it would be early in the day.
Alright, he's there. He'll pop his head into the room, look around.
We need to go investigate, right? Ulfgar?
Alright. Go close enough, at least a mile away, and then I can start seeing what occurs within the mortuary.
I hope this works. Hope kind of just exhales slowly. We should avoid getting spotted. I know it's a mile out, but our luck has turned on us before.
I do wonder if it is a mortuary, if it sees regular customs of any sort.
Well, we'll find out, won't we? Who remembers the way there?
I would trust Warden to know.
You would? I mean, yeah. Sure.
Yep, you can find it easy enough. You had not a full-on map drawn, but enough that you can easily find your way back to the...
In which case, Foul will speak up and go, I know.
By all means, Foul. You beat me to it, Scott. I was right about to hit the play button and you called us here.
Laziness. Woo. So, as you are all going through the forest, there's a small path. This is beyond the realm of even the Angel of Wastes area. The trees are even more spooky, I should say, gnarled and mangled. You see many more fungi and rot in this section of the forest. Many streams have been turned black because of the runoff from the city, and it is not a delightful place to live, and the smell is less of nature and more of just grime and ooze. But the canopy of the trees is much more dense in certain areas, so the noonday sun is less effective in this area as it was everywhere else. Until you see the red-topped building of something in the distance. You recognize a observatory spyglass, though for some reason it is just placed on top like an ornament and there's no actual platform for someone to stand on. And there you see the house, which was depicted in the blueprints. You're still about, I'd say, 500 feet out.
Oh, Ulfgar, are we close enough?
That is plenty close enough for my purposes. We could have even a bit more distance if needed.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, how secluded is this mortuary in terms of like?
Very. In fact, this trail that leads there, it's only defined in the air, like the general area around. It leads down to a stream that's a little less polluted, maybe as a backup, maybe as the main source of watering, and then the other trail leads off somewhere to higher ground. But no actual trail from the city, and it's a couple miles out.
Right, I guess I will look at the structure itself, and then like, I will go ahead and cast clairvoyance to try and get a sense of what awaits us inside.
Okay. Where are you casting this at?
So it essentially have to be outside, but okay, I can just switch between perspectives. I can't actually move the thing.
well, you were given blueprints.
Yes.
Is that considered familiar?
It depends. Like, if there's like an object in the way, you might just be looking like at the internals of a desk. So it's more of
It's like
Let's-
positioning a video game camera then.
Yeah, but the one thing is I can't move the camera, which I didn't fully appreciate. I can switch between whether I can hear or watch, but
Yeah,
the
I'm
camera.
gonna place your token inside, but first tell me what floor you would like it at. There's the top one, which is just literally the like skylight area.
Mhm.
The second floor up, which is the kind of master bedroom and general living quarters. Then the main floor is
That's just a test roll. Ignore
Yeah.
it.
Main floor is cooking, living area, storage, and then a basement that is just labeled basement. They didn't have full blueprints of the basement, just like a square area that says this is probably where it was dug out.
The basement is more or less what we suspect would be the likely.
Hey, it's
area.
working again.
Yay. Okay, so with the compass in mind, do you want it on the northern, southern side?
Well, first off, do we see any kind of like activity or lights from where we are, or
Make
do
a
we have to go
perception check.
closer to that? Okay.
Excuse me, sorry.
19.
Be right back.
19 perception. You don't see any movement or lights in the building itself. The lower floor, it's a flickering, maybe shadows occasionally. Either there's somebody on the main floor, or it's a candle that is not very good at its job.
Mm-hmm. Well, considering that, Ulfgar will try what he perceives. I am uncertain of where to begin, but perhaps the lower floor, if I can find an area that is either close to the staircase or the basement entrance, we could have a better sense of what is within.
The blueprints do tell that the storage area that is on the southern side of the building, the only way down to the basement is by a trapdoor through there.
Alright, I guess I will try and, using the blueprints as information, kind of like try and place a sensor in the doorway to the storage area. Try and
Okay.
get like a broader view of both inside and outside, as well as look at the trapdoor.
Sure thing. So I'm just gonna put a Ulfgar token. Yeah, like near the door.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
That is what you should be able to see.
See. Okay. Yep. The storage area itself, there are many barrels and crates above the trapdoor. It seems to have a sturdy door of some kind, almost like a portcullis. Though I see no one here at the moment. I will switch to listening to see if I can hear any activity.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Sure thing.
18. So, from this distance, you cannot make out words. It is a heavy trapdoor. But you make out a wailing of a tortured soul. And it almost hurts you to even listen to it.
I fear our target is already within and torturing another unfortunate individual.
Make a... let's see. Give me 1 second. Constitution saving throw.
All right.
As the sound is starting to get to you.
And this doesn't have to do with my concentration, right?
Nope.
I have advantage on those? Okay. 11.
11. It's not painful. It's just disconcerting to such a degree that you are forced to withdraw and stop yourself from hearing.
Yeah, I will switch back to seeing again.
Yes,
As
it is touching a burning stove, but instead of just withdrawing, it's like it was in slow motion, and you feel the burning in your head as you're as you couldn't move away fast enough.
The wails of the souls within.
Yes. Take a
Feel
moment,
haunted by
and
them.
it's like your very soul has been twisted for a second.
So what you're saying is we should get started and start moving in.
No, this troubles me. I fear what could be happening, that it troubles me so deeply, yes. We have so little knowledge at the moment either. I will try and study at least this quick area first outside the trapdoor to see if I can spot anything from seeing. Just get a sense
Outside
of
of
the
the
layout.
gate there,
Yeah.
you see the back door. You should be able to see through the...
Mhm.
Let me just open it for you. It is
Just
literally a gate,
figuring-
so you could see through it. Rugs, a couple coffins freshly built, and a bar that is placed over the doorway on the back.
Nothing that is immediately jumps out beyond what I just see, right?
Yeah.
Just the clutter and the doors.
Mm-hmm.
I will inform them of the information, and then seeing the trapdoor. Do I get a sense that I can clairvoyance below the trapdoor? Like, as in, like, look into the basement from where I'm at?
You would be able to project
I recast
yourself
it.
down there. You wouldn't know what's down there, but you could say like 2 feet below this.
Right.
You know, throwing a ball over a fence. You can get
Mhm.
where it's in the area. Yeah.
Yeah, I will just quickly relay all the information I find and state that, well, seems our quarry's underneath, so I will attempt to perceive what occurs down below. Though I fear for my own sanity if just those whales blocked by the wood troubled me so deeply.
Val would just hear all this and go, so digging good.
What good?
Digging good.
Digging,
Referring to
perhaps
he's
good.
just referring to the earlier plan about digging in through the well.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
You're gonna try to go underneath.
Yeah, I will. It'll take me a few more minutes again, the 10 minutes to cast it again.
Another 10 minutes. Make a. What's your spellcasting modifier? It's wisdom, right?
Yes.
Yes. Make a wisdom check.
Okay.
Yeah, 17's enough. I'll just open this up. And you will go basically there. And upon teleporting to this area, what you see,
Oh, the trapdoor
Sense-
closed again.
you should be able to go below.
Oh, gotcha. There we go.
What you see sends a chill down your spine. It is a room full of human bones, though that alone would not be so disconcerting as flesh is still attached and wriggling. All of these bones are technically alive, still.
Fuck. Fuck.
And you notice
Fuck.
they're not quite perfect undead. It is just by their movements, it's just agony. Some kind of spell that is filling this room is just pain. No electricity, no fire, not even radiant. But upon closer inspection of the bones itself, it is the magical word of pain inscribed into every single living and unliving thing. In a cage, you see a bloody mass just pulsing with the same energy that the bones are. But the thing that catches your eye most is the wailing ghost chained to the wall with chains of radiant and necrotic energy pulsing into her at once, and a spear, a spiritual spear driven through her forehead. And she is the source of the wailing. And if you choose to switch from sight to hearing, I'll let you know what happens.
Yeah. Ulfgar will first take Supken Sam's for the stained tankard that he has and just like pour whatever form of alcohol he has in his possession and just start sipping it as he relates all of this information to everyone else.
As you relay this information, Hope just kind of, his whole face drains of color, and he just kind of makes his way over to Ulfgar slowly. He has no words.
Ulfgar just nods in appreciation at the proximity as
File offers his own flask as well, but his flask is unfortunately full of water. He just
Fine.
sees Ulfgar going for the flask, and he's like, "Here you go. You might need this." Not realizing that Ulfgar's doing it for the alcohol.
This is horrifying beyond what I had imagined.
I wasn't prepared for all that. Fuck.
Yeah, it appears
And-
that this is the source of the torture chamber.
Val doesn't
But-
seem particularly affected just yet, because it's one thing to hear about it, it's another thing to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he seems to have some level of disbelief that it's actually that bad, but at the same time he trusts Ulfgar, so he's torn between being horrified and it can't be that bad.
It's actually like it's pretty decently horrifying and terrifying with that description.
Oh yeah, no. The Tailspire is actually doing a lot to aid the
Yep, I'm looking at
Jesus
myself right now.
Christ.
It's just, again, Foul's never even imagined anything like this, so it's just a little bit going over his head.
If you are still stunned by this, you look over and the guillotine that's on the side, the spiritual essence of the blade is thrown down upon different souls as they are constantly shot through the guillotine over and over again.
And this spirit type thing I'm seeing, is that an individual or?
It seems many different types, but a revolving door of them.
Right. Ulfgar will steel himself best as he can. As Foul and Hope arrive close by to him, before switching to hearing, he is going to go ahead and create an emboldening bond between the three of them, just for the few minutes where he steels himself to go and hear what he must hear. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch to hearing.
Building a bond, they take half the damage, was it?
In this case, all three of us have a bonus d4
that's
to
right.
any skill or save that we want to
Good
make.
stuff.
Once per round.
Yeah, and fortunately this doesn't take concentration, so I can do it. Unlike
Yeah.
this.
This is an ability, not a spell.
Okay. You're gonna try to listen?
Yep.
As you switch over, your eyes go blank, but your ears open. And you've heard in different sermons and different religious testaments gnashing of teeth. This is all that the skeletons can do to show their anger and pain. Having been filled with so much suffering, you hear the bones cracking of their teeth as they are gritting. But above it all, another wail comes from the woman who is chained to the wall. With the spiritual weapon in her head, it doesn't impede her wails from reaching your soul. Make another Constitution saving throw, as you now receive the full blunt of this soul's anguish. Okay.
23.
So, it doesn't damage you, but it destroys your spell. And you can no longer see or hear for a moment, and it's just the wailing scream, and your soul itself is twisted, and you'll feel like you'll never be the same. And then you come back to the land of the living, though unable to keep the magic of the spell held up. And you notice not necessarily because of concentration, but that wail had some magic behind it.
That is very good to know.
Oh boy, I think I know what it is.
You can make an Arcana check or Nature check if you wish.
I'm not going to, because Foul doesn't know. He has no idea.
Okay.
Could I?
Anyone who's proficient in history can always go for it.
It's a history check, okay.
Or nature.
You have the bonus d4. Not that you need it.
Oh,
I mean, you
I'm
can
gonna-
add it.
I'm gonna roll it anyway, just because I have it. 24 is still better than 20. Did it not roll the thing?
Might be just
It
loading.
did not.
I see 20, and that's it.
I only see
Okay,
20.
done.
There we go.
22 total.
Yeah. It's one of the legendary creatures that have been mostly eradicated. A banshee. It's up there in infamy with many of the creatures. So there have been times in the school where you have been taught about creatures like a banshee. But there is something different about her. Something that doesn't match up with your readings. With a 22, you would know banshees are made through their own torments. Regrets that they had in life and then just left to fester for decades. That wail that has been described to you and you seeing the reaction, it didn't have the chance to outright kill your friend. This isn't a fully formed banshee. This is someone artificially trying to create a banshee, and it will be in time, but not quite yet. Though it's still dangerous.
You see Hope's entire face go pale. That sounds like a banshee. Or at least a crude creation of one. It ended your spell, Ulfgar?
Ulfgar is still taking a few moments, just looking stunned, and it tore into my mind in a way nothing has. I thought it shocks me for the moment to see all of you here. Almost felt like I would have died.
I'm surprised you didn't. These creatures aren't. They're caused by years of torment of a dead soul. What was in that room? If you don't mind explaining.
Bones, but not fully dead. Flesh still clung to them. I saw many devices of torture. They were seemingly kept alive in a crude mimicry of life to be tortured as we were told. The spirit, she did not appear how I was told a banshee would appear. There may be some semblance of, I don't know what.
Semblance of life? Kept alive on the edge, effectively, but never. Oh, gods.
Make one more perception check now that you're looking back on this.
You're Ulfgar.
Ulfgar.
Okay. I was like, wait, yes doesn't answer this question.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, I'll roll it.
Damn!
Okay.
No, that's a 9.
Damn! We were going so good!
No, you'll hear it eventually.
One other thing was that I noticed that there were a couple of missing floorboards, and there was something underneath. Was that anything I can make out from before I got disrupted?
There was some sort of green light down below, but it looked like, yeah, the floorboards were broken into place. Probably enough for maybe a medium person to squeeze through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna turn on the cat cam. If anybody's interested. He's in my arms right now. I am fuck.
I have the ability to look in once more, though I do not know where.
No. Don't worry about the grittiness of this event. I love it, Scott.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
No, it's fucking great. Don't even worry about it. It just, I wasn't expecting it.
Same.
Fuck!
Yep, 10 out of 10. Also, your cat looks just like mine.
That's adorable. He's only like a year old.
Mine's about, I think, 3 now. She was over 2 years old when we got her. And by that, I mean when she invited herself home.
Yep, as they do. Oh, cat, you just... You just got out of the litter box, didn't you? You smell terrible. Or you farted on my chest. Either
Well,
one.
What is the plan?
Yeah. I will let them know that I have the ability to look once more, though I don't know where.
Ulfgar, are you sure? Trope's face is plastered in a worry I don't think any of you have seen before.
Lad, this is where we must go.
You're right, but
If I
you're
would actually-
you're used to us dead.
If I would actually try to interrupt by just holding up his right claw with the index claw extended, measure distance down.
You mean look through the loose floorboards down, or
Gauge distance. We'll dig there.
Yeah, that he's got a point. The plan was the well.
Like his first thought, which he's honestly poorly communicating, but they know him well enough that they might understand, is instead of facing the banshee, possibly dig down below her instead of actually trying to break out there.
all right, I will see what I can.
And
Though
to do that means just getting an estimate of how deep it is.
though the banshee's wails pierce through much.
Yeah, and it was open enough that whales could be hurt through. Anyone who's proficient in Arcana, go ahead and make a check for that, if you will, after hearing this description.
Going for it. Adding a D4.
Oh, the rolls have
22.
bitten back hard.
Yeah, I mean the starting rolls were so good.
Yeah, they got us a lot of information.
These are just information ahead of time checks. But yeah, nothing makes sense in certain places.
This is nuts.
That makes sense.
I have perhaps a most insane suggestion or idea. This woman, this banshee, I could see her. I could try to contact her with ascending, though I do not know what that would do to me. Or
Hope is very quiet for a long time.
If I would have taken a bit before speaking up, I can carry. In case of what's that.
I would rather not just see you crumple to the floor. I don't know if I can bring you back from that.
I do not even know if anything would happen, lad. If the message would be simply screaming out into the void.
Banshees, their screams, they can cause harm, lots of harm. If it's the scream that does it, then Hope is nervously fidgeting, and you just see a little light pop into his hand as he tosses it back and forth. I don't.
Seeing her, seeing all those bones, I can't help but feel pity.
No, you're right. We have to do something, but if you're going to go down, it shouldn't be now.
Aye, but when we approach, with all of us, we will have no choice but to act decisively, and perhaps that means violently.
Hope
I
goes
could-
quiet.
I could cast some bones. Perhaps they would shed some light. And, yeah, I guess as everyone else is pondering it, Ulfgar will start pondering it too. But he will hardcast Augury Is
Is that the question?
the question is, how would a sending spell against this woman, or sending a message to this woman through a sending spell, how would that affect Ulfgar? And is that a good thing to do?
As a reply, take 1 point of psychic damage.
Okay, I know you said that and you didn't mean to time it with the music beat dropping, but you did. And oh my god.
This is a woe
Yes.
without parallel. As yeah, many
I'm
reasons
so glad I
behind why.
prepared this.
I'm so glad you prepared augury. Oh god.
You know, I never really took divination spells before, but I'm liking them. Oh,
Good spell.
That was a good use of augury.
I was about to whip out the "Are you sure?"
Hope has been staring at wow. Now I'm saying my character is staring at a different character. Hope has been staring at Ulfgar this entire time. Was there any visible recoil from the psychic damage he received?
Bonk on the head.
Ulfgar tries to normally keep a stoic face and keep things hidden, but it's not so much the damage, but just looking at the sticks and just he does recoil and just holds his beard in his hands and just slumps down. Oh, the omens are definitely not good. All right, Fowl. Suppose I will look in and see if we can dig our way to the structure below.
Foul would not.
Though I do wish I had gotten a look at our quarry once, just so I could track his spellbook.
We'll get there when we get there. This man will not live. There's some hatred in Hope's voice.
Or we'll go ahead and
I
cross
do-
and go ahead, more.
I do want to say that we could just come back a different time now that we know what's awaiting us, and prepare. We're losing our full moon, but we can prepare countermeasures against the Banshee. I know you don't want to turn away from this, but
And just a heads up, it is the waning edge of the moon, so it will be another couple weeks.
Well, that's if we want to do it on a full moon. That's only when he's most active.
When we're most likely to encounter him and act upon him.
What we need. Hope turns to Foul. Foul, can you purchase silver bullets?
Foul looks almost insulted. Purchase? Make.
That's fair, but the point stands. So we're going to need them. I guarantee it for you and Raybar.
Foul would nod. We'll get.
I've got means to do radiant damage, and it should hit pretty hard. But I can only do that twice, and then I need everyone to stay out of my way.
Also, we only know that he's around the house during the full moon, right? On an out-of-character basis.
I think we're told that he's around in general, but is most active during the full moon. But correct me if I'm wrong, Scott.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, never mind then. Foul's plan would not work.
I don't want to destroy the encounter. But theoretically, I could just wait, and whenever he leaves the ground, if he ends up leaving the ground, hit him with Hunter's Mark, and then we can ambush him on the road and just not kill him.
I will say, the Adventurers Guild, they have done their research, and he never leaves the building. This guy's a
He
hermit.
probably gets shit delivered to him. He's a paranoid necromancer.
Yeah.
He's got Instacart.
Yeah, he got that
Magic
DoorDash
person.
money.
I don't also know if you can leave everything that's underground. Like, if you can actually leave this place.
For all we know, he could be a fucking lich.
But in the vein of clan encounters, one of the thoughts that Fowl would have had, depending on how active the guy is, would be they don't have to dig the entire thing out day one. They could just whittle out the tunnel slowly over the course of a few weeks, just sneaking in each time, and only burst in at the opportune moment instead of it being a desperate race in time. Like just leaving that paper thin bit of rock before they actually break into it.
I'm worried that'll risk us getting more we're more likely to get spotted like that, though.
Yep, but that was only if he actually left the place. Just doing it, just entering when he leaves. But if he's there constantly, I would never mention it because that's a constant risk.
Oh, okay.
Like that would be basically learning his schedule and abusing his schedule.
I would not want to act hastily, Warden, but at the same time, knowing what I know now, it is hard for me to walk away from this.
And I understand that.
I honestly, Ulfgar, I'm in agreement with you. I don't like this. Oh, Foul. To make silver tipped arrows and silver bullets for you, Raybar, and Warden. How much do you think we're going to need?
You keep forgetting my name. Is it already setting in? Hope? Hope?
You know what? Just because it's funny, I'm gonna roll a history check to tell you if it's already setting in. But the question stands. That's a natural 20. No, I just like fucking with you, and I have to do something to relieve this.
I
Would
figured.
Fowl know the price of the average silver bullet off the top of his head since he's done so much with firearms, or would it be a case of him just knowing that he can just simply coat the very tip of the bullet or something with silver and it'd be good enough?
It's depending on the weapon, of course. Pretty much a gold per silver bullet for the most part because of the process it takes to make it. Probably more like 5 silver if you were to do it yourself with your own materials.
Yep.
Larger weapons, it's a serious, like, it needs to be done in the forge. Arrows,
I think it's like 500 gold for that.
Yeah, arrows,
Yeah,
buying
it's silvering.
the actual arrow tips, yeah.
So it wouldn't be so 500 gold to get decent amount, or just to get the materials for silvering?
500 gold for any real weapons, 1 gold per bullet, about
5
the
silver
same for arrowhead.
making it, and about 5 silver if you try to make it himself.
Yes.
Per
You-
bullet / arrowhead. Okay.
Yep. He would go gold per ammo, and then he would just take a pause and reach to scratch behind one of his ears with his claw. Half maybe, if make.
We're going to need as much as we can get without overspending. Hmm.
We'll try.
I I've got means of magic attack, so I'm not really concerned with silvering my crossbow bolts. But you three are definitely going to need it. If there's any advantage, and we get in a fight, it's going to be that.
He would then turn to Ulfgar. 500 for a weapon.
I do not need that, lad. I have much sources of doing radiant damage.
Foul would nod at that. That's
You and me both.
And
I imagine it's the same thing.
I would say if one of you who are like the fastest person would be able to get back to town, buy some arrows and bullets, and come back by the time before the sun sets.
Well, we're not planning on going in today. Assumed.
I've got the gold for it, I guess. I've got the gold, and I'm probably one of the faster ones, so.
Foul would seem rather put off at the idea of just charging it today.
Warden, is that where you're at currently?
I'm with them, yeah.
On the
Oh, you meant as far as on the map?
Yeah, were you looking at the wall and everything?
Probably not. That's just where I was before. Like, just where I slapped myself down on the map.
And just for me, place your guys where you would be. If you would be on the board, not 500 feet away.
Yeah, I think we're all.
We're all like 500 feet away. I imagine we haven't gone any closer.
Oh,
Yeah, I was just there from before. I didn't actually move my token at all.
Yeah, you'd be off board.
I can certainly look in below
Like,
the trapdoor once more. See what I can tell from underneath.
Okay, you're gonna cast it again?
Yeah, I think that was the assumption, because with foul, right?
Yep, Foul was ready to carry him if it ended up taking too much out of him.
Okay, so let's place.
So yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing where like look through the loose floor or try and project down below the loose floorboards.
Okay, so now you're gonna cast it again through below where you saw before?
Yeah. Yeah, lower through where the holes I saw, more or less in that area.
You would be able to see. There. And just through the corner area, you do see some kind of laboratory through the cracks. This is the central area where he does his stuff.
Hmm. Where is my character?
there he is. He's over
Yeah.
here.
Yes. Oh, it is lit by some kind of crystals, bioluminescent. But an extensive laboratory down here.
Now that you see these, make a either Arcana, History, or Religion check. Different information may be available. It depends on what check you make.
Right, let's go for religion.
22.
22.
These gems are soul gems. Specifically designed to hold them and be traded into, like, the 9 hells for currency.
Fuck! Yeah.
I mean, I guess he uses every part of the person.
At least no part went to waste, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
As he's examining this, Ulfgar. No, these are soul gems. Sent to the Night House. Oh, quarry I do not yet spot, even down here.
Is he saying this out loud?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ulfgar's been like non-stop talking out loud, so we understand the situation.
Okay,
Mhm.
in that case, Fal's actually going to finally speak up despite being quiet all the other times he's been given information. He's going to go, always knew Pelumbra.
What? Wait, do you think? There's no way.
There's also how big are the gems?
Pretty big, actually. And with how much light and radiance is inside them, it's a lot.
There's no way they can move it in time.
I
If we
don't
were
think.
just to alert the authorities ourselves,
I don't know if moving them is the issue.
but he won't be able to hide them.
It means that if we informed the authorities
You-
of this, perhaps they wouldn't be able to remove the evidence.
I'm not sure how much your character can see, but you do see mine carts that are full of gems
Yeah.
in the back.
I don't think. I don't think. Hope's face is very pale, and his whole demeanor is flipped on its head. Ulfgar, do you think they're going to use these to, I don't know, power something?
Such arcane devices are beyond my own understanding, though I do spot one, similar to the lightning rod we saw as a trap.
So this is a Ooh, go ahead.
There is a skeleton by it, and what do I make of that? Of the lightning rod device and the skeleton next to it?
So, you do see the hands of some being reaching past the corner that you can see and tinkering with this skeleton. Removing a femur, removing one of the rib cages, putting it inside this machine for a second, pulling it out, and it's pulsating with power, and then sliding it back in, and it cools and becomes ordinary. Takes it back out, puts it again, and a bunch he's just testing, and the skeleton is just there, standing.
And what if the device next to the skeleton itself?
You can make an Arcana check if you wish.
I will just simply send. I'll quickly relay this information as perhaps someone is still meddling with the skeleton itself. I don't know what the soul gems are intended for. We intend to come back tomorrow, or at least not go for this venture today. Yes.
That's correct.
Oh, God.
We're not prepared.
Make a stealth check.
Okay.
DM,
Yes.
can I roll Arcana to try and theorize what soul gems might be used to power? That's a bit of a reach.
Sure. Make an Arcana check. An 8 stealth. Okay.
This is for the sensor or for just us?
For your sense, that is, it should be invisible, right?
Yeah, it is invisible, but it can be spotted by true sight.
Which is funny, as when this man comes in kind of around the corner, he's detailing it, his eyes get drawn straight to your orb, as if it isn't invisible.
Fuck!
And you don't see anything except a grin, where half his teeth have been filed into points. Filed.
I have been spotted. My sensor has been spotted.
Oh,
Fal, Val's actually gonna just reach, just be ready to grab Ulfgar and Bolt. Like he's just at this point standing behind Ulfgar, his claws at the ready, just to grab and just run off like he's a football.
Yeah, and also,
Ooh,
so
go
as
ahead.
they're closer again, I will again embolden all of us once more.
As you do so, you hear a voice in your head, Ulfgar.
Mhm.
I whistle a happy tune, and every single time the power in that tune convinces me that you're all afraid.
I gotta show tits.
Fuck! Fuck!
Oh, we might want to leave. I
So-
hear him speaking in my mind.
And with that, Val is gonna just grab Ulfgar, none too gently, and just run
Okay,
full
Excellent.
tabaxi speed.
make survival checks. As at this point,
And then
Someone roll for me, and I can tell you what my thing is.
okay.
Oh my god.
Fuck!
Oh my god.
Shit!
So that's a 12, a 5, and an 11.
And what's your modifier, Gil?
I think more than survival is like +6.
Yeah, I believe so.
Are you still concentrating, Ulfgar?
On the clairvoyance?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so Warden has.
Oh wait, it's an hour. It's not concentration.
Warden has a 25. So
Clairvoyance is concentration.
It lasts like an hour. It is.
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
+6 to whatever you rolled as well.
Yeah, 25 for Warden.
yeah, I added +6 in the roll.
But as this individual approaches the sensor, do I spot anything on him?
Oh shit! I just closed roll 20.
Make a perception check. Or an insight check if you wish, to figure out more personality things versus equipment.
Ooh. I'm gonna go for equipment for the first. Yeah,
Sure thing.
that's the first priority. So that's probably gonna be at least a 20, 22.
22. He's dressed in robes, and they are the type that you've seen in school where it's defensive robes that are worn by mages who are like experimenting. If there's maybe a blast from a potion, well, Sukan Sam doesn't because he's weird, but otherwise, if there's a blast from a potion, it temporarily helps them reduce the damage, or at least not take, or at most not take any damage at all. It's experimental. Other than
So
that, you
presumably-
don't see any weapons on him. The 22, you do notice that the skeleton near him, ordinary skeleton, probably has handful, like it's probably the weakest type of skeleton that there is.
Those robes, they are custom and certainly something he would presumably wear very often.
Perhaps. I mean, there's no embroidery on it. It seems pretty standard.
Do I notice a spell book or anything of that nature on him?
Not on him right now.
Right. Well, at least the robes are something to potentially locate in the future.
Action. With the 22, you would notice a kind of amulet that is hanging from his neck. Kind of hard to make out without a good religion check.
Can I attempt that, or
Yes, you may.
it's not as good? 16?
That's better.
16's better. It's half concealed, but good thing it's the symbol is symmetrical, as it is a skeletal hand holding up a scale.
Hmm.
And
It's not one of the gods of great domain or something like that, right? Not that I
it
recognize.
is not quite that. So it is since you rolled higher than 15, you know that that symbol is a symbol of the god Kalemvor, the god of the
Hmm.
dead.
Describe that symbol again for me, Scott, for my notes.
Skeletal hand holding up a silver scale, like the justice scales.
God of Dead.
The dead, yeah.
Skeletal hand holding up scale. Like a weight scale? Or like a dragon scale?
Wait.
But even as he's examining it, he's speaking into my mind, and
You haven't responded yet to ascending.
Ulfgar will choose not to respond to it ascending.
Fair enough. As you guys are fleeing from this, you're running into the woods. There was no trail. There was no real guiding markers. And you're quickly lost in the tree cover that is growing darker. It's approaching night, 4 or 5 hours ahead of time.
Oh,
Hold on, what?
As you stumble across a clearing. The sunlight is here, now that you've broken out of the tree cover with the moose rolls. However, in the center of the clearing is a dried up fountain. And in the fountain, there is a sort of statue of a skeletal hand holding scales.
Is Ulfgar still concentrating on his spell?
You haven't taken any damage or anything to break it.
no.
Sorry, Ulfgar. And you're going to receive. I'm trying to throw as little at you as possible, but Hulk is not happy you are still concentrating on this spell.
Make an insight check, because you don't know if he's actually concentrating.
Oh, I thought it might have been obvious. Okay.
Nah,
My
it's
bad.
not. Fingers to the forehead. It's just keeping a mindful eye, and...
Yeah, I don't know shit.
not
Never mind.
sure.
It's literally not letting me reboot Tailspire right now, so.
I could stream it for you.
Nothing to see yet, but you're at the fountain, and you're looking around the clearing from the direction you came and everywhere else. It's the same. There's no different trees. There's the same set of trees and the same bushes, repeatedly patterned.
Ah, fuck.
Are we lost? Oh.
Are we lost? I've been doing my damnedest. I resent that statement, sir.
I know not this place. We didn't come through here, did we?
Nope.
Val would shake his head. You could actually point at several of the trees. Repeat pattern.
Is the necromancer still just at the sensor?
Tapping his foot, waiting.
I see the necromancer. He waits the sensor as if awaiting something. I fear to listen to what he has to say, though I could see if we learn anything from that.
I was gonna say something, but Foul wouldn't say anything.
Warden, Hope.
Hope is stricken with fear and is not responding.
After another, like, 30 seconds, you see his hand wave and he casts Sending again. Well, aren't you going to see my creation? And he gestures over to the skeleton to his right. Come on, I know you want to. Dying of curiosity.
I could say, he speaks to me, asking if I'm curious. I wonder if I should mention Palumbra's name to him.
Just tell him that we were interested in the craft. Clearly that'll work.
Alright. Ulfgar will go ahead. Palumbra told us you had most curious creations. Though perhaps I would prefer to keep my distance after what I've seen.
At this point, he doesn't cast Sending again. He just gestures for you to come back.
I simply relate this information and just say, perhaps we should simply leave. I do not wish to interact with this man any longer.
Good luck leaving. We're stuck here.
The fountain in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
It is dry.
Yes. You see weeds growing in the base.
It's considered an object, correct?
Yep.
Hope not sure what to do. He's going to take out a small pearl and an owl's feather that he acquired just traveling along. He's going to write on the pearl, and I'm going to touch the fountain in front of us and cast Identify as a ritual and see if it pings at all.
Okay. Casting Identify on the fountain.
Clairvoyance will also lapse in that time.
Fair enough.
I think we should just break a statue. Maybe piss
Ye-
him off.
Just give me a minute.
Foul just stares at Warden. Really?
So, after a little bit of casting Identify, you understand the magic behind it. The looking into the weave where the magic comes from, and the disruption that this causes. You know that this is a anchor point for a god. If a god wishes to have some sway upon a certain area of land, normally it happens for good gods, it happens in holy sites and certain temples. In dark gods, it's resting places of archliches or certain things like that. You've heard tales of the Feywild being a bit strange as far as space goes, and these anchor points are similar. If the god who owns this anchor point doesn't wish anybody to leave, it's going to be difficult to do so. Not impossible, depending on the power of the god, but difficult.
Hope's eyes widen, and as the magic weave kind of unravels itself and explains itself to him, you see him just leap back from the fountain. Oh, I forgot, you mentioned soul crystals, right?
Aye, soul gems.
And Hope, like, just in a sheer spasm of terror, just points at the. This is an anchor point for a deity.
Kalimvor. An anchor point for Kalimvor, you mean?
Seems like a good idea to break it.
Val would just begrudgingly nod.
Good thing we
He's,
have that fancy little doodad you have there, Val.
Val winces at that because guess what he was doing when testing and preparing his gear? It is all charged up. So he's just winces.
Foul.
And just from the very visible wince, you know that he actually did charge it to probably where it's going to definitely hurt him.
Foul. Let me see it.
Val would just, with his free hand, reach around, pull a gauntlet out, and offer it. The button set. It's clearly straining. He basically hammered it a few times when he was actually hammering other stuff too. Like one hammer on the ore, one hammer on the gauntlet.
Now, how long does it take to attune to an object?
30 minutes to an hour most.
I hope we have enough time.
Make an
Elaborate.
Arcana check. Who is it that did the identify?
That was me.
Oh,
Hope, yeah.
20, not nat.
This is a magical object. So the rules for certain enchanted objects remain. Destroying enchanted objects is very difficult. A lot of power goes into them, and a holy object from a god, you're going to find artifact level equipment to break those.
okay.
I don't think we're gonna be able to break this, even if I were to blade ward myself and smash it with as much power as we can put into it.
Okay, then let's deface it.
I don't know what either of those would mean for us.
This, and Hope like points at it. This is what's keeping us here. This is what's causing the loop.
I'm just trying to draw him out here. If we deface the statue to his god, perhaps that'll make him angry enough to leave his trap-infested home to confront us.
Could bring the god's wrath himself down upon us.
Possibly, but if that were the case, then we're probably screwed anyway.
Kalimvor, as far as I understand, malevolent or benevolent deity?
Make
Do
a
I
religion
know?
check.
Religion?
Yeah,
You can also
heard
make
wisdom.
that Scott.
if you wish.
10.
Oof. 6.
Okay, so
No,
good thing he is one of the major deities. He is in charge of kind of judgment of certain souls that pass on, the vast majority. He tells you where you're going. And his realm is a true neutral in every term. It's painfully neutral. No colors, no black and white, no music, no silence. It's normality and true neutral by magical means. So you never can tell with this god.
Look, if we're trying to draw an evil bastard out of his lair, to stop him from doing all that shit you described, I'm pretty sure that's a good thing. We're undoing evil with good. Yeah?
Or just wordlessly take the gauntlet back and just hand it to Warden instead.
No, I'll do it, but it's not going to work, Foul.
Foul just shakes his head. Not destroy. Deface.
I'm going to look around and
He's
see if
actually-
I have any, or if I can find any mud in the ground.
Mud's easy enough to find or create.
If
And
not, I was
Warden's
going to
on the
make
same-
some.
Yeah.
Warden's on the same thought process as Foul, it seems like.
What is
I'm-
this? What is this fountain made of? And I'm sorry, I did not mean to cut you off.
Some kind of stone. Probably need a
Are there-
nature check to tell exactly what type, but yeah, not like steel or anything.
Oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm gonna draw a dick on the back of the hand
Okay.
using the mud.
Oh my
do so.
god.
We might as well call you Jester already.
I don't want to be. It's just the easiest way I can think of.
I mean, that's in character for Warden. Warden seems pissed off enough at this point.
Yeah.
Are there trees close by?
Outside of the clearing, yeah. The same set of trees over and over again.
Okay, sure. Do any of you have an axe? I have an idea.
I got a sword?
That won't work.
Eventually.
Hope is going to go up to the closest tree. How tall are they? Are they like little piddly like sapling trees, or are they like
They're-
ginormous oak trees?
Yeah, they're not ginormous, but oak trees, yeah.
Would they be tall enough to fall onto the fountain?
No, this is a ways out. Yeah, like you have a good
Okay.
almost 100 feet between the clearing and the central. It's a perfectly circular clearing, central fountain.
Okay. Gotcha. Never mind. I was gonna try and
Make a perception
Create
check while
bomb.
you're there, though.
sure. I'm good at that. No, I'm not.
Okay,
5.
fair enough.
I'm fucking. Not. Mm.
Okay, what you guys
I'll
gonna
s-
do?
I'm also going to write Ninja was here with a Z.
Okay, with his Z, sure.
Was as in W-A-Z or W?
U-Z, yeah, W-U-Z.
Hope is going to, just out of stress, goes invisible.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna work on defacing the statue. Hope for the
As
best.
you do so, while you can't like carve into it or do any damage to it, you can deface it as much as you like.
Foul's just gonna be standing there with his only free palm resting against his face as he's still holding Ulfgar. So he's got Ulfgar tucked under one arm, and his palm is just pretty much clutching his face at this point with the other one.
Unconscious, lad. You can let me go.
Foul
Oh.
just drops him.
If only there was a way to send an image.
Well, if you mean to summon him here, then perhaps we should prepare for the eventuality that he might arrive.
Oh, I will. I've got arrows at the ready.
Can we actually get to the trees and interact with them, or no?
Yes, it can.
With both hands now free, Fal's actually going to go over to one of the trees himself, take his crowbar, and try to whack off a few branches. Actually,
Sure thing. You do so.
with those branches, he's just going to collect everything together and use his tinder kit to
With a
try to
14 passive, through the trees as you're working, you do notice the very faint glint of moonlight far in the distance of the spyglass on top of the building.
he would peer at that stare, turn around, you, as he reaches out and points at Warden. Here. And with that, he's just going to beckon Warden to come on over.
I'll go ahead and wander over.
He will just basically lean down so that he's closer to Warden's eye line level, and reach up and point at the where the glint of the spyglass is. And see, can you hit?
How far away would we be?
It's like little under a mile out. It was just the glint of the far distant thing.
Okay, so no, I'd have to get a lot closer. I can give it a try from 700 paces.
Foul shrugs. Worth thought.
I'll do it if someone comes with me.
Foul would nod and just prepare to follow, but only after he manages to set the little sack of wood together aligned to make a small fire.
Okay.
I'm going to start wandering very carefully, probably making scratches in trees, so I can find my way back to the clearing.
Okay, and funnily enough, as the perceptive bunch of you, notice that the trees in the circle, all of them are now missing the branches that Val took, and the scratches.
Even as I walk outwards?
Yep. It becomes, less precise, but
Oh well. It was worth a shot. Let's go. And I'll get up to about 700 feet in a straight line from the top of the tower.
when you're approaching it, you do see the glint of white movement coming towards you.
Coming. Can I make a perception check to see if I can tell it is?
Within a couple seconds, you notice that it is, in fact, the same skeleton that you saw earlier, but instead of holding any weapons, he is holding a envelope.
Company!
Foul immediately just readies his weapon.
How far away are they?
I'd say about 300 feet.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And Ulfgar's still at the fountain?
So I guess we're both 300 feet away from those two.
Yeah.
Although I suppose
I guess I'll ready an arrow, but I'll wait and see if it's hostile, since you say I see it bearing an envelope.
Okay. It just keeps marching towards you. The tireless march of an undead creature.
I'm going to... Oh, right, none of you can see me. I'm going to wordlessly make my way to Warden and Foul. It's gonna take me some time, I know that much.
Okay.
I mean, it's 300 feet, so.
The skeleton
Yeah.
isn't rushing, so by the time you get there, the skeleton could have arrived. Unless you guys wish to attack it.
Oh, Val's just going to be at the ready. As soon as
Yeah.
he sees it's not carrying a weapon, he's going to actually hesitate.
It approaches you all, and where's Ulfgar? Where'd you go?
Is he inside still?
Yeah, he's inside still.
Oh, that's right. It doesn't duplicate. Okay. And it's going to have its beelining straight to Ulfgar with this envelope.
Seeing it past her, Warden will swap out her bow for her swords.
Ulfgar will start approaching the group and wait to receive the envelope.
Hope is keeping Sacred Flame prepared and ready the moment something hostile happens. I will continue to hold my action until I see that.
Very well. The skeleton presents you with this envelope. It is hurriedly made, and the wax seal isn't even dry yet. Well, it's dry, but it has been messily applied so that the symbol on it isn't clear.
Alright, I will. Despite my misgivings, I will accept the envelope and take it from the skeleton's hand, knowing that my allies are nearby.
It just stands there.
I'll go ahead and break the seal and open.
Okay. As you open it, the writing inside has no punctuation, no spaces, not even the same size letters, as things change drastically. And it's a headache just to read. But it says, "Please do meet me for morning tea, or afternoon tea, or just tea." I like that letter. But since you're all here, and while I'm watching, I'd like a trial test of my greatest creation yet. Have fun. And the skeleton gets into a ready position to fight. And you see this little bloody heart at the very last piece. Signed, Dr. Jackals.
So the minute it shifts to get into that ready position, my held action goes off.
Go for it.
Sacred Flame, it needs to make a DC. Actually, I could probably just pop it in there and it should say the DC, won't it?
Yep.
16. Saving throw. Or it'll take radiant damage equal to 12.
Okay, it succeeds
It takes no damage. Damn.
as it becoming ready means it dropped low in a bit, and while you were aiming for a stationary headshot, it goes right overhead, disappearing into the forest. And it turns to you.
I am still invisible.
You made an
wait, no.
attack, so then you would.
I'm going to attack that in. So you're right. I forgot about that.
Okay.
Also, I know that official D&D content, Sacred Flame comes from up above.
Well,
I mean, it
More
still beats the
flavor.
saving throw.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more flavor for how it missed.
Yeah.
It approaches you, Hope.
Are we rolling initiative or just?
We are now rolling initiative.
Should I roll for Raybar?
Yeah, take over Raybar for me. I just
Sure.
off.
I don't know if you can boot me that sheet just for a moment to edit it.
9 plus 4, so that would be 13.
And what was your Roll20 name?
Oh, I believe it is Austin H. Dot.
Ah, there we go. Cool. You should now be able to affect a Raybar sheet.
Yep, I
let's
will
see.
fiddle with it.
Might have sent me his D&D Beyond sheet. Let me double check. He keeps up with that one a little bit more.
Nineteen, 11.
Rolling Raybears now. Oh, what the? No attribute was found. That's weird. Okay, well, it would be... I'll just roll it, because he's got a 0 anyway.
Okay. That's Raybar. So it is. Yep. What's up?
I rolled a 13. I don't know if you got that. I rolled in game.
Okay. So it is Hope and Ulfgar.
Ulfgar, go ahead. You got the +1. Right.
Hope. Ulfgar. Foul. Skellington. Oh, wait, no. Warden Skellington. Raybar. Hope, you are going first as it approaches you.
Gotcha. Is it adjacent to me yet, or is it like 10 feet back?
It's adjacent to you now.
I'm going to... Oop, sorry. I'm going to move one over so I don't catch anyone else in it. And since he's within melee distance, I'm going to cast Word of Radiance. Each creature that I can see of my choice within range. I utter a divine word and burning radiance erupts from me. Each creature of my choice that I can see within range must succeed a con save or take 1d6 radiant damage. DC 16. That's a really shitty roll for...
It's a 14, so that fails. 2 points of radiant.
I literally rolled 2 ones of that damage. Tough. Wait. It did scale it, right? Like, I'm not dumb.
You did what, higher casting?
No, it's a cantrip. I just wanted to make sure it scaled it to 5th level. I don't know if it rolled the die properly.
You can't. Oh, the 5th level. 2d6. Yes, it is. You rolled 2 ones.
Okay.
Yep.
Never mind then.
You can hover it over and see how many dice you rolled. Yeah. So you hit it, and the radiant energy. You're aiming for the center of mass, and it goes ricocheting through two ribs and flies out the back. And it just keeps pressing the attack.
Gotcha. Then I will... That might be all I can do, actually. Let me double check. As a bonus action, my familiar will appear next to me.
Gotcha.
And that'll be it.
Okay.
So based on what I just saw, I saw it be unaffected by the radiant damage.
Make an insight check as a bonus action.
Sure. 17.
We're all cats. It didn't seem to be affected, actually. There was no double damage dealt to it.
Well, I will draw my shield with the blessed symbol of Baranar within it, on it, and focus my energy through it, and then essentially turn undead. If it is CR 1/2 or lower, it's destroyed immediately, which I assume it's not. Otherwise, it needs to make a wisdom save.
Yes, it is higher than 1/2.
Yeah, I assume that would be the case.
Ulfgar.
It
notice
needs to make a
the-
wisdom save. Yeah.
Sorry, the wisdom save?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it was the automatic. Gotcha. That's what you mean.
Yeah.
That is a 8.
Okay. It is frightened of me, and the only action it can take is to run away from me.
1 second. Let me double check something.
Okay. Or at least for the next minute.
Unfortunately, I forgot this thing does have advantage against Turn Undead, and the
Okay.
second roll succeeded,
All right.
so it is not. Natural 20 as well.
Unfortunate. But all right. I will attempt to harness Baranar's symbol, and even seeing it take hold and then not, I will look upon with a bit of fear and approach to border it,
Sure thing.
and that will be my turn.
Foul.
Val is going to move into a much better position that's a little bit closer. And then he's just going to aim his shotgun, carefully leveling it so he's making sure he's got a clear shot that isn't going to risk hitting any of his allies. And then fire twice.
Fire away. Uh, 11 doesn't hit, but 18 does. First
Ooh.
shot, making sure that you don't hit any of your allies, goes wide, but the second one hits dead on for...
That was perfect roll for 2d8 plus 4.
Yeah.
Damn.
20
That's
points
amazing.
of, it would be piercing damage, but, and this skeleton gets burst into a million pieces. And just bones scatter everywhere. Since we're being so careful with your shot, none of the shards hurt anybody, but skeleton's down.
Oh.
I don't like how easy that was.
We're still in initiative, so.
Yeah, Val, if you're not going to do anything, Warden, it's your turn. The guy's still watching you from the distance.
Okay. I am going to use my action, swap back to my longbow, and just back off from the skeleton.
Get some distance, okay?
How far?
I mean, it doesn't really matter because I can hit everything in 200 feet, but
Alright.
And this isn't exactly spaced apart. You were still like a good 500 feet away from the
I'm
building.
probably getting closer to the tower.
Yeah, you're still like 500 feet away from the building area, though, so you're good.
But I'm keeping you guys in view and definitely not using bonus action to dash. So I'm just using normal movement, and I'm holding my bonus action.
Very well. As for this skeleton's turn, it starts to reassemble itself. and after the end of its turn, it manages to get back up with 1 hit point. Still ready for battle. Raybar's turn.
Raybar is a fighter, if I remember correctly. So Raybar, for lack of a better thing to do, is going to take out his pistol right from where he is and is going to place himself here, just the next space over, and is going to take 2 shots, careful to miss Ulfgar.
Okay. Fire away.
He has a... Did you send me his roll 20 sheet?
I should have permission to
Or
edit
no,
it.
no.
I don't have access to his D&D Beyond sheet.
Damn.
I have
Okay.
every other character he's made, but not the one here.
Okay.
Because I believe his roll 20 sheet is inaccurate.
Yeah,
So
I'll make sure to get it from him for next time.
Nice.
He likely
I'll
came
take
home
your
and then
guys'
fell
levels.
immediately asleep.
I'll just...
For this fight, you can just use the roll 20 thing. I was just gonna
Okay.
not have him in there, but he's there.
Okay, then he will make a attack roll. Doesn't have a pistol in his inventory, so...
Oh.
Sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties. Give me 1 second.
Let me just.
So,
let's just
roll
go for
1d20.
shot.
yeah, that'll work. Okay.
7 points, enough to bring him down again, as he only had 1 hit point. But the shot severs his spine, and he is folded down in half again. Hope.
He's on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I am just going to Eldritch Blast. Twice into him.
Ranged attack at disadvantage.
That's fine. Oh, need to hit the raise advantage button.
14 hits
Okay.
for 1 point force damage. You scatter their bones even more.
And
As
then
you take a moment, you see just like the slowest worms, they are starting to reform.
gotcha.
11 misses. Scattered a bit too much on that last shot.
And that will be it. My familiar will come up, and it's just gonna back away.
Okay, Ulfgar.
All right. What would it be to try and quickly examine the situation, potentially as an action, just to like this creature falling apart and reassembling itself in front of me?
What are you trying to glean from it?
Any way to disrupt that reassembly?
That would be Arcana.
Okay. Go ahead and try and glean what I can from examining it. Oh, not good. 10.
I mean, in your teachings at school, it's been blatantly said a bunch of times. Like trolls, for example, destroyed with fire, they regenerate. Fire radiant might work, but you're not sure.
Okay. Is that my action to do so?
I would say bonus action since it didn't really glean you that much information.
All right. In that case, we must disrupt the regeneration process, and I will attempt to sacred flame it as it's reassembling. So DC 14 Dex save.
Let's
I don't know if it
that's
has.
fail. Sacred Flame. 7 points of radiant on the 0 hit point skeleton. Polar energy comes down, taken from the moon itself, blasts into this skeleton. End of your turn?
Yep.
Foul. After the light clears and the spots in your eye, you blink them away. The white bones are still moving. Foul.
Bones are moving.
Mm-hmm. to a
Val
strength reason.
is he is actually going to step in and grab a handful of the bones, or rather try to, and then step away.
Okay.
So, not so much an attack as much as he wants to separate and see if that separate part of them and see if that actually affects the reassembly process.
Sure thing. You
as
grab
he
him
then
and
retreats.
it's a weird feeling grabbing these like larvae sized pieces of bones that are being pulled gently towards its location. Warden.
I'm going to. Am I within 700 now?
100 of what?
700 of the telescope.
You're about 500.
Okay. I'm going to shoot at it with disadvantage.
Go ahead.
It'd help if I was actually on the right fucking page.
Fair.
Um, 16. You hit the telescope, but since it's a heavy-duty object, ping. Flies right off.
You said it was pointed towards us before?
Yes, it is still pointed towards you. The
I would
thick
have been
lens-
trying to hit the glass.
Yeah, the thick lenses didn't break with that.
Okay.
I mean, you hit it solidly, but
Hey, Raybar?
He kind of looks at you a little confused. What?
Target practice? And she'll point to the telescope.
I can try it. It's a little out of my reach, though.
If I can hit it, you can hit it. I'm doing it with the power of my arms. You have magic or whatever the fuck powers that.
He will give it a try on his turn.
okay. After Warden, it is the Skeleton Warrior's turn. Fowl, you feel the bones in your hands freeze for a second. The ones on the ground do as well.
And nothing happens.
And then you feel a stabbing in your hand as the bones stab you for 2 points of damage. And the bones on the ground start to... They don't fully recombine. But like the upper torso and arm start to wriggle towards. An arm grabs onto Hope, or tries to. Yeah, natural 20. That's enough to grapple you. You're not grappled, but it is holding onto you.
Mhm.
While the rest of the torso drags itself over to Ulfgar and attacks him with its short sword. 18 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, for just 8 points of damage. Sorry, 6 points. 6 points.
It cuts through the shield and then stabs him for damage.
Not as a dwarf, you're not trained of fighting creatures below your size, typically. But it's still going. Raybar.
Raybar is going to do what was suggested and take a shot at the telescope. I don't know the range on his weaponry, though, and I don't think it
should
matches.
be actually just a little bit better than mine.
Yeah.
I think he has 200 feet on me on the far range, but it's disadvantage.
Okay.
Or 100 feet, excuse me.
Let's see. Let's make him roll. Yeah, well, rolls to hit with his weapon, hits it, but again, does no actual damage. And probably realize at this point, if it was going to break, that shot would have done it. It may be an enchanted object.
God damn it.
Gotcha.
At least the lens that's been pointing at you guys.
It's not my turn,
Oh,
but can I see him behind the thing?
make a investigation check.
Do you want me to do that on my turn, or?
You can do it now. Call it a reaction. Not sure. I mean, he was wearing darker clothes, and this is a dark sky on a dark roof.
I'm gonna fucking give it a shot anyway, whenever it comes back
Hey,
around.
worth a shot.
Oh,
So the skeleton is still, for the most part, in one quote-unquote piece in this square in front of me.
it's about... So its arm is on Hope. It's grabbing into you and trying to dig its fingertips into you to cause pain. The legs are kind of flailing around. The other arm with the sword and the skull and torso is going towards Ulfgar. And yeah, Fowler just has a few shards.
Good. I'm going to step over it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because it's kind of on a crumpled mess on the floor kind of situation, correct?
Sure, yeah.
And I am going to cast Create Bonfire at my feet.
You probably will be caught in the flame, but go ahead.
I am aware of that.
Very well.
He's resistant to fire damage.
Needs to make a DC 16 Dex save or get caught on fire. And I will take that damage as well. Do I make my own save? I'm doing this willingly, so probably not.
I mean, you can mitigate the damage trying to cause the arm to get the brunt of it, so you can go ahead and still make it, but disadvantage, I would say.
That makes sense.
First
Oh,
one,
that's Raymar's
natural
thing, sorry.
18, second one, natural 13. It does take the full damage.
It's okay. I'm still resistant, so...
And as the flames are curling over the bones, you can hear some popping as maybe cartilage that may not have been fully dried out starts to pop. And it wriggles. And you feel the hand on your ankle start to dig in more. It is not dying. Not staying dead, I should say.
Damn it! I'm kind of standing in the fire.
Ulfgar.
Not being hurt by the fire either.
No,
Okay.
you're just beyond it.
And then Hope
Alright.
is standing directly in the fire. I will maintain concentration on that spell.
Don't you want to, because you took damage?
Yes, I would. No, I resistant, so it's just 10.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's...
Because you
Yeah,
take
D10
16
with
so
con
it's
save.
DC 10.
Yep, you're good. Fire's still going.
But you previously mentioned some larvae. What are the larvae?
It's
It's wriggling
not
like
actual
larvae.
larvae. It's just bones that are the size of it and
Ah, oh,
You know.
gotcha.
moving like they were, really thick, hard. Yeah.
Oh. Ulfgar will simply drop his cutlass in place and pick up his belaying pin and see if he can just simply crush the bones into pulp. And if that
Okay.
has any effect.
Go ahead, make an attack and damage.
Oh, I shouldn't have the plus, but 13.
13.
Ignore that.
Yeah, you managed to find the skull itself as it kind of fell over when it was attacking you and getting set on fire, smashing it into many flakes of pieces, and pulling back, taking careful notice of it. They're slowly starting to pull it together.
We must find what stops its regeneration.
And at this point, you hear in the distance, Warden, especially since you're paying attention to that, cackling laughter of pure mad glee.
Does it
Yeah.
sound like it's coming from the telescope?
Behind it, yes.
Yes! I'm gonna fucking shoot this bastard.
Gonna attempt to make another check about anything that could affect it or no?
You can roll an Arcana check.
Sure thing.
Maybe a higher DC, but
12. Yeah.
mm,
All right. That will
Yeah.
be my turn.
it should be. I mean, you've done a lot to it. Foul.
Val's going to take the shards he has and just chuck them as far away as possible in the direction away from the necromancer's hut.
Okay. Throwing it up into these bushes in the distance.
Because if he can buy extra time to keep it from properly fully reforming, all the better.
Okay.
Even if it mostly has reformed at this point.
If that is it.
I mean, can I take an attack action with that? I'm pretty sure that counts as my action, though.
I would say bonus action. It's just tossing.
Oh, okay. In that case, with that done, he is actually going to move in and level his shotgun at the what remains, and also try to blast it. Just be
Blast
careful not
into
to hit
the
allies.
remains. Yep. Go ahead. Just so. Yeah. Sure.
So the first one hits.
You
Second one I'm
destroy
actually
a
gonna burn
shoulder
red point
blade.
on. Oh, sorry, what?
Yeah, you destroy a shoulder blade. It scatters into ashes almost.
Oh no, the second one's the attack roll, not the damage. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha. Do
Oh.
the damage for the 26. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do the damage for the 26, and then I'm gonna burn a grit point for the other one.
Yeah. So a good portion of its upper torso is now into basically dust after a point blank shotgun fire.
And after that, he's gonna unload the second round into it. It was a 9, so I'm gonna use the Deadeye shot and burn a grit point to try to roll again for advantage.
Hoping for an at 20. Go for it.
$13.
13 just hits, and again, dust barrowing into the ground itself, dirt flying with all the fire still there, ashes burst into your faces, but you're prepared for it.
And that's all he's gonna do.
Okay. Warden, is your turn.
Bonus action hide.
You seem to be stealthy.
Okay. Granted, I'm assuming where he is right now, but would I be able to hit that from here, or do I need to move?
If he were behind the telescope, it would be full cover. And you would have
Okay.
to move a good, because you're still 500 feet away, you would need to spend a lot of movement to get a different angle.
I'll dash towards him.
Straight towards?
Kind of like at an angle.
Okay, and how much movement do you have in total from a dash?
I would have 60.
60. Okay, after 60 feet of movement, you still can't quite see him. You make a, what's your passive? I forgot.
My passive perception is 13.
13. Okay, yeah. So, at a brief moment, you do see him raising his hands in triumph. Just a hand over the side of it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, that's action, bonus action, movement, so.
You can confirm that he's there. Skeleton's turn. He has been burst into dust, and he does nothing except try to re-knit for another attack, or just pull himself back together. Raybar. And it is quick to understand that this thing, it's different. It is no normal skeleton.
Graber is going to unload 2 shots into it.
Very well.
Still being careful to miss Ulfgar and then myself.
So let me just wait for that. Hits. Misses, but does about 7 points of damage for that. Not too high, but again, keep damaging it, keep scattering it, but this thing will keep reconnecting itself. Hope.
Is this skull near me?
The skull is still reknitting itself together. It's flakes. But you do see the burning eyes where the eye sockets might be located, and the rest of the body seems to be going in the direction of those burning eyes.
I grab it by the skull.
Nothing really to grab.
Well, it's got eye sockets, right?
Well, where the eye sockets would be, as it is dust from a couple of different attacks. But you can grab a handful of them, of the pieces.
Oh, like the skull's already in pieces.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Okay.
almost
I
this
misunderstood and assumed
almost
it was
this
whole.
entire thing except the hand, the actual hand, everything below the wrist that's grabbing your ankle, and like a leg bone. Everything else is pieces. Jigsaw puzzle.
Gotcha. Okay. My bad.
Split
Then I'm
loose.
going to move around it,
Okay.
and I'm going to thunderwave it and just send it flying.
Okay, scattering the pieces. Let's just make that happen because, you know. They can't resist it. As you scatter the pieces, they go flying all across within probably about 30 feet area. And the eyes fly out directly away from you. And as it lands, the eyes are directly aimed at you, Hope, as the bones slowly, ever so slowly, start to regenerate. For all intents and purposes, he's about there.
Everyone, I think our decision's been made for us. I think we're going to have to do this now.
Our Lord.
And Hope is. I've spent 10 feet of my movement. Hope is going to use the bonus action to expeditious retreat, so I can dash as a bonus action. And I will.
2 spells.
Oh, yeah, it is. Never mind, I can't do that. That's right. Then I will not do that, and I'll just move the rest of my movement. So that was 5, 15, 20, 25. Nope, 20. That's the rest of my movement.
Okay,
And the cat will just keep up with me.
sure thing. What's the plan?
So how far are the rest of us from the house itself?
500 feet about.
Okay. And the skeleton is starting to reassemble, but it will take a little bit more time again to reassemble.
Yeah, with how many pieces it's in, it's going to take a little bit.
Suppose it is time to rush our quarry directly. And Ulfgar will also go ahead and just straight dash towards the house.
Okay.
And that would be my turn.
Foul. I should say, is anybody else staying after this?
Nope.
If nobody's staying, we're gonna go off of combat for a bit, as the skeleton will take a couple rounds to reassemble, and even then, it's not as fast as you all. However, once the doctor sees you guys running towards him, you'll catch the briefest glimpse of a trapdoor being opened and closed, and he is no longer on the roof.
Could I have tried to fire a shot before that happened, or
You
is there
just saw
no
the
way
void
that I?
open.
There's no possible way I could have.
Not from your distance, the way he was taking advantage of full cover. Yeah. Squishy mage. Hopefully. But yes, he is retreated down below. And by the time you guys reach the building itself, it's probably about 5 turns or so fully
Nope.
dashing.
Foul can reach there, much less. He, on one turn, can move 240 feet.
What? Holy shit! How?
For the... Well, that's 1 turn, and then Tabaxi stuff has to
Yeah.
recharge.
It's one turn, feline agility, then using the second wind to pretty much use feline agility twice in 1 turn.
Yeah, but
So
for the
and
sake
if I'm
of
not, he can catch up to Warden.
for the sake of you all, we're going to just say that you arrive generally together, as nobody wants to rush into this place alone.
Which does make sense.
What's the plan?
I will openly say, if we're going to continue, not to cut it short, it is 10:30 p.m.
Eastern.
If there was any good stopping point, it would be right before we go in.
Since we don't have Raybar anyway.
Not to cut it short, but just putting
Yeah,
that out there in
I mean,
case you would rather do
I
that.
was going to... Let's go with your arrival and then what you are saying, so that you can think about what the plan is over the week, what you're facing. So how are you guys getting into this place?
Is the well still a good idea? I turn to the rest of you.
Actually, he would have opened up the front doors.
And on seeing the front doors open, Foul would go, yes. Because you don't want to go through the obvious invite.
He knows we're coming, but he doesn't know how.
Okay.
Foul would just
All
go
right.
to the doors and go, trap.
Trap. Oh, and Nope responds with one word himself. Ulfgar, can you still cast that spell?
No. I have burned my biggest spells on trying to find where he is. I can
That's-
locate his position now, but I cannot clairvoyance any longer.
No, I mean silence.
Yes.
Will you be tapped if you do?
I will not be tapped, but I will be significantly taxed. I will do so. It is worth it.
Okay. I have means to cast without vocal components twice. I will when we get to the stone. Let me take a crack at it with my blast.
Okay, so you're all
You-
rushing down into the well?
Yes.
Okay. Who's going first?
Foul will probably be going first. Since
Yeah.
he's
Foul will be primarily digging.
Foul will be
And
first.
he's also putting on the gauntlet as he gets in.
With a So, here's the thing. As you rush down into there, you realize that with your passive of 14, something is amiss. Something's weird. I'll allow you to make a perception check.
Oh,
Everything's fine.
7. Okay. So as
Must
you
have been the wind.
as you start, because it is just sorry, yes. You get through because there's the stone first, and then it's dirt. So how are you getting through the first layer of stone?
That would be.
That's my job.
Yep.
Ulfgar would be casting silence, and then I'll use subtle spell to blast through it without making a sound.
Very well. Using the gauntlet.
Nope, the gauntlets for the second part.
Okay.
No, I was going to use Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast. I will say, do your damage for an Eldritch Blast. Dragon.
Gotcha. Gotta remember. I think it's 2d8. It might be
The radius
2d10.
is 30 feet of silence.
D10. Because you get 2 beams, so each one's a D10.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'm just gonna check the front door for traps, just because I'm sitting here doing.
Oh, of
fuck
course.
Very well.
Of course. I couldn't have rolled worse.
It's going to take you about 4 shots to get through the stone. But after that, it's soft dirt. Investigation of 11.
Did you ever cast Silence, Ulfgar?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I would have cast silence.
So-
I think when we're getting into the solid, because it
So
only
here's
has-
the thing. I can only do Subtle Spell twice. Period. And it happens with each cast, so I
Okay,
would have
well,
only been able to do
In
that
that case,
twice.
roll for damage again.
I assume Mike was casting the silence when we did the actual gauntlets, not the Eldritch Blast, because that doesn't make that much sound.
Oh, okay. If you'd rather do it like that, we can do it like that.
Yeah, because you can do that rather quietly.
Yeah, and the silence only has a radius, so we can't really, keep pushing.
Oh, you'd rather save it for the second one than the first. Okay. Then never mind. That works.
Okay, you going for gauntlets first?
No, he can Eldritch Blast multiple times. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
We're just not casting silence till we get to the second wall.
Okay, gotcha. So it will be muffled by the ground, but you will be able to cast it enough times to break through. As you get into the soft dirt, how are you guys digging through that?
I have a shovel. I would have given it to someone before they went down the hole.
Probably foul.
Yeah, Foul's in
Foul
there
would
first,
just,
so Foul, you start digging. And as you start digging, make a dexterity saving throw.
Nice.
Okay. So the noise you make as you suddenly find the ground, oh, that's unstable, isn't as loud as it could have been. As you are suddenly dropped into another tunnel below where you were digging, and falling and tumbling out to... Let me get you... Sorry, where are you? I'm blind. Foul. You're tumbling down into some shattered boxes through a secret exit. A possible wizard's escape point. And you are now in the deepest basement, looking out and seeing nothing. But the sound you make was loud enough that people probably would have heard.
Val's just going to ready his gauntlet just in case he is jumped, and glance up at the rest of the party. Give a thumbs up. That's his answer as to what's going on. They achieved their goal accidentally.
And
Task
actually,
failed successfully.
as you break through here, make a Constitution saving throw as another whale breaks through from just above.
Oh no.
Okay. You have, for the remainder of the time you were down here, you have disadvantage on all wisdom and intelligence saving throws.
Alright.
So remember that.
I mean, he's not that smart to begin with, so.
Yeah. Fair and balanced.
With that, though, he's
Console
going to.
Banshee screen.
With that, though, he's going to see if he needs to actually help catch any of his party members on their way down here.
Hope is probably first down, and he's going to cast Blade Ward on his way down.
Okay, and the rest of you can. Let me see if I can get you all there.
Oh, we're there. Okay.
So y'all can enter there if you wish. I'll put you-
Yeah, I can help with that.
Oopsies.
Also, the just a random hit with a hammer for just smithing something would be like 1d4 or 1d6 damage, right? Or
I think there's an actual hammer weapon.
I'm just like, how much damage would he be doing if the smith cat just accidentally hits something while trying to forge?
Just a D4, D6.
Okay.
Depends.
Since he basically spent several hours with the smithing during the weekend, and old cat says hi, but he spent his time and alternated between powering up the gauntlet and powering up the gauntlet as well as working. I just wanted to get an idea of how much I need to roll for the damage that he'd be doing.
Okay. As you all stumble into this area, you hear from another room in the distance. Shh, guys! They're here! Everyone put on your best faces. Ooh, you. Why the long face? Oh, because it's melting. Never mind. Seems he knows you're here.
No time like the present.
I'll do that quickly then.
I'm gonna message you, Scott, about the numbers there. 1 second.
Sure thing. Well, once you turn the corner, we'll see what's what. Any last preparations before you advance into the boss room?
Nope.
I'll go ahead. Who's planning to be going first? Like who's gonna take the lead? Is it Ashley?
Place your
It's gonna be
tokens.
foul,
Who's
right?
going first?
You were correct. A light hammer is 1d4 bludgeoning.
And Val would be first then with the
Alright,
shock party.
Well, I
Huh.
will go ahead and give you protection from evil and good. Before we go in.
Alright, also just gonna do the roll here for seeing how stupid Foul is.
Because, yeah, I mean, there's actually no limits on how high you can do it.
He's somehow barely not stupid because that's 2 HP from max.
Let me see.
Why did you
That is-
roll 20d4?
Because he hit the damn thing 20 times.
Oh, fuck.
Wait,
Like I said, he spent his weekend hammering and smithing things and alternating between hammering the damn iron bars and that thing.
That's a lot of fours.
But
Fuck.
also a lot of 2s, so...
Yep,
But
it's,
that's-
it's rather average.
7
that's not the
fours?
damage you're taking right now.
No, that's the damage that might
be
inflicted on
dealt.
him if he fucks it up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. Well,
There's a reason why you shouldn't have this.
I want it to be said that I'm using walloping arrows.
Walloping? Okay.
Yeah, it would have been the arrows that that we were given at the very beginning.
Okay.
The non-lethal ones.
The sleep
Gordon
ones
would have
that,
kept them.
yeah, The
No,
sleep
you said that they were different from the sleep ones that were used in Cobalt.
Like these are effectively practice arrows.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They are non-lethal, damaging. Yes.
Now, Scott, speaking of non-lethal, am I, by all intents and purposes, because I am the spellcaster, able to make my attack spells if I choose to be non-lethal?
Within reason, yes. Like a fireball area effect fireball, but like a
Yeah,
firebolt
that's a little
to,
difficult
like,
to
the
make
leg,
non-lethal.
that would be more reasonable. Yeah. A firebolt
Like
to the
AOE might be hard to make non-lethal, but like direct target wouldn't be as difficult.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
if you like double what he needed to die, that may get into gray area. But for the most part, aim for the leg, swoop the leg, Johnny style.
That kind of thing. Okay, that's what I figured. I just wanted to make sure.
Well,
Hope is going to actually follow up right behind Foul.
okay.
Are we going to
Foul, hope.
step in and start the combat, or
Well,
No.
so this room right here, there's no traps. This is his workshop. It's the one to the right. Once you go in there, then you will see what you're facing, and we'll end there.
right? Foul is going to not quite cross the barrier just yet. And instead, he's going to do one last check of the gauntlet, flex his wrist, rack his shotgun, check his ammo, and then step out.
Is there any means for me to have my familiar climb onto Foul's shoulder?
I mean, he's not wearing anything that would stop it.
Would you allow that, DM? He is a cat.
Say it again.
Have my familiar climb onto Foul's shoulder.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay. Then the familiar will just move with Foul.
Protection from. I'm assuming undead.
Yeah,
Disadvantage on attack
protection
rolls.
from.
Protection from
Um,
evil.
That's a good one.
Actually, we had a couple moments to go before we got into the boss
Yes.
area, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Final
I will go ahead and embolden three of you, not including myself. So I guess I'll go for Foul, Hope, and Warden.
Okay. That's just on saving throws, or
Once per round, you can get the D4, and then you guys can take damage for each other and teleport to each other as well.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Unless you guys want me in there, but I assume since you guys are attackers, you would appreciate that more.
With
I'm
Foul
going-
especially, it's gonna be useful for him to get into position.
I'm going to let you all know out of game. I am saving my 3rd level spell explicitly for something
Okay.
explicit.
Well, as you enter the area, choosing your path, you see standing blatantly in the center, magic glowing his expression. The thing that catches your eye, beyond the ghosts, beyond the ghouls, is the madness in this man's eye. Welcome to my humble abode. Hope you stay forever. As the toothy grin, sharp, deadly, and painful to even look at, engulfs you all. You see surrounding him a ghoul with a chain attached to its neck. Several ghosts that are endlessly covered with expressions of anguish and need as they reach towards the warmth of your bodies. And then in the back, with the calm demeanor that belies his undead body, a mage of some sorts. but creepily in the back, standing right behind this madman. A skeletal scarecrow with ribs larger than anything you've seen, large enough to engulf a creature, as it cracks its neck, and with a head directly angled against the floor, looks at you, bringing out a scythe dripping with viscous blood, more so than a scythe could hold, as if it's being fueled and a vein in its own blade is uncovered. They ready for attack, and we will end the session there.
Well, damn.